Well then, what is up, lads? It's CM9 here. It's been a while. Yeah, I've got a lot of explaining to do. Alright, before we go ahead and start talking about what turned out to be an absolute horror flick against West Brom this afternoon, I want to talk about a little bit briefly about the reasons as to why I've not held up my end of the bargain when it comes to doing these Chelsea match reviews this season. Now, I did say, what was it now, maybe 7 months ago, I said that I was going to be selective with the match reviews. Watch that video, I did say it, quite clearly I said it, and it got people thinking that I was going to be, maybe doing a few games, like a few big games in the season. It turns out that I haven't done that, and, we've had to wait until April. Yes, we are. I do believe we are in the beginning of April to do these match reviews. So, yeah, the last 2 months of the season, turns out I'm going to be doing these match reviews. Now, to those people that were thinking, where the hell is CM9's match reviews? I'm sorry. I'm really, really sorry. I've just not had the will to do them, unfortunately. I've been focusing a lot of my other channel, my gaming channel. I've been putting a lot of heart and soul into that I've just not had the time to do these match reviews. Now, I've literally gone and watched all the games so far up until this point and said to myself, that should be that. I don't want to do anything regarding Chelsea. That I'm quite satisfied. And yeah, I mean, it's just the fact that I've been focusing so much on my gaming channel that I've not really taken the time to do any match reviews for Chelsea. And for that, I apologize to those guys. It happens to the best of us. Partly it's something to do with my mental health, which isn't great. And I mentioned this in the last video. So yeah, it happens to the best of us. I've been very, very lackluster. And I know a lot of people, a good handful of people really look forward to my match reviews. And, for those people, I am in your debt. I really am. I'm very, very thankful for those people that stick around and wait in vain whether I'm going to do a match review for Chelsea or not. So to those people, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. So I can only apologize to those people as well for not doing what they wanted me to do this whole season. But yeah, let's go ahead and try and dissect what turned out to be, oh my god, an absolute horror show. Now, okay, before we do that, actually, let's try and remind ourselves what we've missed. Well, what I've missed, what I've not been bothered to be talking about this entire season. Now, just to get you up to speed, we've had Frank Lampard for the first half of the 2020-21 season. He got sacked midway into the season because of a lack of inconsistent performances, we should say. It all started against Everton when we lost, was it 1-0? And then suddenly the results went all the way down. We started losing against teams like Wolves, Arsenal. Arsenal. Can you believe that? After they had inconsistent performances. And then suddenly we were just lackluster to a point where Frank Lampard's career was on the line. It was only a matter of time before he had his marching orders. And suddenly we've got a new German in, Thomas Tuchel, who up until this point, I would like to stress that very, very much, has gotten up to speed. He's got us back in as title contenders. Or so I thought. Not conceding very many goals. In fact, 12 hours without conceding a goal is quite impressive. But our main concern has been up front. As you probably already know, despite not conceding very many goals, and I've got to put a lot of praise into somebody, especially Andreas Christensen, what performances he's been having of late. Despite the fact that players like Thiago Silva has been out injured. But, our defence has been very, very good. It's been a massive cornerstone of our revival. But like I said, it's our attack that has been lacking. And today, against West Brom, is a prime example of when the defence cocks up and our attack is still inconsistent, we open ourselves up for disaster. And well, it happened. It happened, man. It happened. And it happened in the worst possible way too. 5-2. I need to stress that. Losing 5-2 against West Brom at home against Sam Allardyce is embarrassing. is just like, I would have accepted maybe a 1-0 loss. It would have been bad, yes, but not 5-2. Honestly, the worst possible way against, you go like, what was it, like 12, 13 games without a loss, and you lose to Sam Allardyce of all people. It's unacceptable. But we have to come to terms with the fact that this was coming. This was coming. A loss like this was coming. And I'm really, really... The good thing about this, if there's any good thing to come out of this, is the fact that Thomas Tuchel has come out and accepted his mistakes. Accepting your mistakes and understanding them is the first step to realizing everything that you've done and making everything better. It's all good that we look at these records and think, oh my God, we've gone like 12 hours without conceding a goal. Oh my God, Thomas Tuchel is in his first, I don't know how many games he's gone without losing a game. It's good to see that, but at the end of the day, records are there to be broken. And we just have to come to terms with the fact that this was going to happen eventually. You have to look at the team. You have to look at why we lost today and why we lost in such a way. Thiago Silva got sent off for 2 bookable offences. Questionable challenges. I mean, look, when you see the actual challenge that got him sent off in the first place, the guy had a shot, his timing of the challenge was poor, he brought the man down, he got yellow carded for a second time and got sent off for it. It happens, people can say that it was he should have been sent off for it, and I can see that, but there are other reasons to say that, the timing of the challenge was technically poor. And he got sent off for it, and that was only the beginning of our implosion. So then, I think it was Hakim Ziyech that got sacrificed, and then Andreas Christensen had to come on, and then that was only the beginning of our disaster show, really. We were leading 1-0 through was it Christian Pulisic following the ball in after our free kick hit off the post, and then Pulisic followed in. We were leading 1-0 for like the first, until 45 minutes anyway. And then step up Matheus Pereira for West Brom. Now, he was actually a big thorn in our side. Technically, he was the best player for them. West Brom played superbly. Give credit to them. And Pereira got 2 goals before half-time, which led to West Brom leading 2-1. Dude, it was only a matter of time before we imploded. And it just goes to show you that at the other end, when we're looking inconsistent up front, I'm sorry, but guys like Timo Werner and Hakim Ziyech, who got taken off following the sending off because we had to bring on Andreas Christensen, we had to bring on a defender. We just look inconsistent up front, so poor. We're just not good enough. I have to say, there is one specific player that I'm just not a big fan of, and I've never been a fan of in the middle. Jorginho. Honestly, that player has an on and off switch. There are times where he's good, and there are other times where he just can't be bothered. And in those times when he can't be bothered, he can play the worst games possible. And today was one of those days where he was switched off today. And I was hoping that he was going to be the guy coming off for Mason Mount. He wasn't. I can't remember who came off. But Mason Mount did come on, changed the game, kind of. He did score a goal to bring us back into the game after we'd gone 4-1 down. But then West Brom scored a 5th goal, and that was it. That was it. Game over. Look, it's a heavy defeat. It is. But this has been coming for a while. And yes, Thomas Tuchel has brought us back into contention to get into top 4. And a lot of people are going to be saying now that top 4 is now beyond our reach because of this result. I kind of agree with them because, look, under Frank Lampard, we were never in contention for top 4 anyway. Thomas Tuchel came in with a big job on his hands to get us back into contention. I was hoping that maybe we'd be in that contention for top 4. But then when we lose a game like this, it brings us back down into reality. But Thomas Tuchel can only do so much. I'm glad that he's come out and accepted his responsibility for a poor performance like this. But I don't want to overreact about this. A lot of people, if I was going to do this match review or not, were expecting me to, throw toys out the pram, throw things around the room, think, oh my God, we were terrible, 5-2, it's a terrible result. But at the end of the day, it's just, we have to come to terms with the fact that this was coming eventually. You look at the recent games that we've played. Yes, we've won a lot of games. I'm sure that, we'll be very, very proud of the record we've gone through under Thomas Tuchel. We've had some fantastic results. But when you look back at those games, it shows that up front we are very, very inconsistent. Players like Werner are not up to scratch. Players like Christian Pulisic are not doing enough. Players like Hakim Ziyech are poor. And Mason Mount, credit to him, has been doing fabulously. Pretty much the only gem in what would be otherwise a very mediocre front three. It's only been our back line that has been so good up until this point. But then when our back line makes mistakes and is prone to errors, and then suddenly players like Thiago Silva get sent off, the mentality just drops, and then suddenly we're open to disaster. West Brom were fantastic today. They defended well. They came and did a fantastic job. And I've got to give credit where credit's due. West Brom deserved the 3 points today. I look at today's performance and think, you know what, it's a heavy result and I'm disappointed. I'm very, very disappointed to lose such a horrific game. And at home as well. We are literally the only club to concede more than 3 goals against West Brom in both our games this season. It all comes at a price. We have to go and realise the reasons why. Our lack of consistency up front leaves a lot to be desired. And then we get a game where our defence cocks up and then suddenly we start conceding goals. And then suddenly the mentality drops. Suddenly the manager starts making mistakes. But it's a good thing about Thomas Tuchel that he's come out and said, I'm responsible for this mistake that I've made. And I'm really hoping that this is only a minor blip. I don't want this to happen again. This is a reality check. Yes, it is. Yes, this is a realization that maybe we might not get top 4. And if we don't get top 4, then we have to come to terms with that. I would have liked it to get top 4, but it turns out that a result like this proves that maybe we're not up to scratch, because we look at our team performance, we look at our front three and think it's not good enough. Like Timo Werner, Werner is coming off of the back of a horrific miss that he made for Germany during international break. If you remember, against Macedonia, the ball came into him and he completely fluffed it. He's coming off of the back of that, and he's in this game, and again, he's just inconsistent. There were times where he got beyond the defence, looked like he was going to get a goal, but not quite. But if there's one thing I would say to Thomas Tuchel, he has to get the attack right. It's all well and good that our defence is very, very good and we're keeping players out. We're getting clean sheets left, right and centre. And I can commend the defence for that. But when our attack is not good enough and we're not getting the goals to kill teams off, the second our defence make mistakes and the mentality drops, and then we get one player sent off in our back line, and then we have to make last-minute changes and bring Andreas Christensen on, and we're not prepared for what is about to happen to us, we get this. This was bound to happen eventually. And this is the reason why I'm not so overreacting about this. Like I said before, a lot of people were expecting me to just throw toys out the pram and just throw my chair out the window or something like that. But no. If this was under Frank Lampard, this was going to be the same kind of result. Let's be honest. It's just that Thomas Tuchel, the difference between Frank Lampard and Thomas Tuchel is that Thomas Tuchel is more experienced to understand the reasons as to why we lost. And I'm hoping that Thomas Tuchel is experienced enough to get us back to winning ways again. Porto is next in the Champions League on Wednesday. So keep our fingers crossed that normal service will be resumed. Remember that this is at a neutral ground on both legs. Both in Seville, for obvious reasons. I'm sure that you guys are aware. So no game in Porto, no game at Stamford Bridge, but both legs will happen in Seville in Spain. So we've got that to look forward to. Let's put this game on the back burner. Let's focus on the Porto game, all right? It's a blip. It's a heavy loss. We get it, but it was bound to happen eventually. Thank you very much for watching this video. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I wholly apologise for not making videos this season. I'm hoping that you'll welcome me with open arms rather than questioning me as to why I've not been doing match reviews. But I've explained it in the best way that I possibly can, and I'm hoping that I can not necessarily do every game up until the end of the season, but I'm going to try and ease my way back into it slowly. Just give me a little bit of breathing space between games. I might not do every game up until the end of the season, but I'm going to see if I can try and ease my way back into it. So I hope you'll welcome me back with open arms. I know this is not the right kind of game to be coming back to, but like I said, I hope you'll welcome me with open arms. So yeah, thank you for watching the video, guys, and let's get back to winning ways against Porto. I've got every faith in Thomas Tuchel to get us back to that. And yeah, thank you for watching, and until the next video, I shall see you later. Peace.